Welcome to the Metal Prognosis. My name is Lee, and in today's video, we are going back to the Studio V3, pairing it up with the bass. But the one thing we do love about bass is having a bit of grunt and a bit of dirt. And we're going to be chucking some Microtubes, see if I can get that in as well, with it to see how it all pairs up and goes. So, let me start plugging stuff in, and let's see how this rocks. All right, now everything's set up ready to go. Grab my Washburn here. And this is the settings that we left off on last time with the Studio V3. So we did get a lot of grunt and some really cool aggression out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back the input just a tad. Oh, hopefully it's still lined up. A little bit drier because we're going to really push it with the Microtube here. So let's do that. So we should have nothing. Oh, we've got a little bit. Oh, because we've got the blend. So I've done actual full videos on this Microtube, and it is very awesome. But this time we're just seeing how it's going to roll with the preamp here. There we go. That is all right. Let's all right, that's pushing the level just a little bit too much. So I'll bring it back just a tad. I don't know what else needs to be really touched with it, because the settings that I've left on it from last time, when I last did a video on it, are pretty solid. I'm really liking that. Let's see if we can just push it a little bit more with the drive, which gives it a bit more hiss, but whatever. I really like that. Yeah. No, cutting it a little bit. Yeah, I'm really liking that. Let's see. Tiny little bit of difference when you change the different cuts there, but that's all right. All right, let's try to blend a little bit just to get a little bit of the original signal coming through with this really cool dirty. So if we go all the way back down, we're only getting what's coming from the StudioV3. We'll go about half and half. Yeah, I don't mind that actually. I want a little bit more. I think half sits the best at the moment. We do lose a lot of volume from it, so we can just get a bit of a boost anyway. That sounds brutal. And I know it's a really good sound where I'm starting to lose myself in just jamming with it and just having fun with all the different sounds. But let's take a little bit of a step away from this. Cut that so I just lose the buzz. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a jam. And then what I thought would be cool is we're going to do a take just like this as a setup, as you just heard. And then I'm going to do another repeat of it. I'll do 2 different repeats after it with my friend's homemade IRs that he did, Nick Leonard's, that he did straight for bass. Because this is a studio setup, I'm really keen to hear the difference back to back with what we've got here, which is very raw and straightforward, and then do a little bit of post by adding a different IR to it. So he's got one of my favorite bass IRs that he put together called Immortal. Probably because I love the band Immortal too, so I think there might be a slight little bias there, but that's okay. We're allowed to have these little biases. And I'll pick one of his other ones that he did as well, and we'll check it out. So sit back, relax, and we are going to have, well, you're going to see me doing the same jam, but we're going to do it 3 times in a row, and I'll put up on screen when the different IRs are on, and then we can have a bit of a chat about it on the other side. time for some final thoughts, pairing up StudioV3 with, if it can come up in there, in the Microtube distortion pedal, which is a dark glass clone. So firstly, the StudioV3 is very cool for bass. I still got to check it out with vocals and other things just to see how it is overall. But for bass, I really love the different dynamics and depth that it brings a tone going straight into that, then just straight into the audio interface, which is very, very cool. Gives a nice, awesome foundation to work with. And in saying that, because it gives us a good foundation, adding distortion and grunt and aggression to it, which is something I love. Yeah, this pedal, the one thing it doesn't have, I mean, it's a clone, so I don't know how it is against the real dark glass pedal because I've never actually had a chance to use one myself. I've worked with other musos that have had them, but I've never got my hands on one to really try. But it doesn't have a noise suppressor on there or a noise gate at all. So, I mean, if you're really fussy about it, because it did produce a bit of noise, you can just add one at the tail end of it. That's no problem at all. But the amount of aggression and grunt attitude that we got from it was worth putting up with the noise, because all I did for the jam is just move either side of the wave a little bit before I started and a little bit after I finished, and the little bit of hiss that was there in between when the bass wasn't playing, the music was absorbing anyway, so I didn't even bother editing that out or mucking around with it. So even though isolated sounded like a lot, in the mix it actually wasn't too bad at all. But I think the most interesting thing about this video was adding the IRs at the end. So going in nice and dry, it wasn't too bad, it was pretty cool. I was pretty impressed with it, it felt really nice playing. But then adding the 2E, the IRs that we put in there, that Nick Leonard came up with, really changed it for the better. It just had a brilliant, like, final polish to the bass tone. By doing very little, I just added that IR to the end of it, and that was it. There was no other processing or editing or EQing after it whatsoever. So the Immortal is still probably my favorite because I love the aggression attitude that it puts on it, which is great. But the Colossus, I think it's called, that was very interesting too, because I haven't really used that much other than just giving it a little bit of comparisons for these videos, but that is actually a very, very solid one as well. Very different characteristics, which is what you want different options, but it definitely had a cleaner bottom dynamic, I think would be the best way to put it in the mix. But really, really cool. And if you want to check out Nick Leonard's stuff, I'll have a link in his channel below, because if you go say hi to him, he'll give you those IRs for free. He's very user-friendly in that regards, and he helps, like myself, just being a part of the community and seeing what we can bring to the table for everyone and make things better for everyone. So thank you very much for joining me in this video. It was fun bringing out the bass again and just having a bit of a thrash with it. And yeah, the StudioV3 is very rad for bass too. So yeah, I'll see how I go. But I've got another distortion pedal for bass. It's a little bit simpler, the Spider one. So I might bring that out next time to see how that flows with it. And if the hiss does get a little bit too much in that one, if I push it too hard, I might see how it is adding just a small little noise gate at the end, just to see, so we can continue the conversation and have different options and things we can try. So thank you very much for joining me. It was heaps of fun, and look forward to chatting with you next time. And until then, stay safe.